And streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, one person has died and 2 others are hurt after a stabbing at a Victoria home Monday night. Police have a suspect in custody. And Senator Raphael Warnock and his opponent in Georgia's runoff election, Herschel Walker, hit the campaign trail on the final day before the election. And in Washington, the U.S. Supreme Court heard oral arguments Monday in the case of a Christian web designer who objects to working on same-sex weddings.
Take a look on the outside. This is a live view from Port Lavaca Nautical Landings Marina. Looks pretty good on the outside. There's cloud cover in the distance there. The marina pretty calm. Warm and humid. Oh, you betcha that's going to continue. Any rain chances? Seeing that maybe. We'll take a look coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain. Today is the 6th day of December 2022. The time is now just about 6:33 on your Tuesday morning, and today is National Microwave Oven Day. Let's go ahead and turn to First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Trey Mining. Trey, there are some frozen items you can only prepare in the microwave, unless there's some sort of steaming trick that you can do with a pot over the oven.
Perhaps, yeah, some of those items you can get that are kind of store-bought, get that with a little thing inside, like a little silver lining. You put in the microwave, helps to cook it through a little bit better. So that's a good thing to get. It sure makes it taste good too if you're having to have that. And there's a certain type of food that you want to cook in the microwave. Microwaves are good and very convenient too. And on the outside, well, warm and humid, kind of feels like a microwave a little bit on the outside. Temperature is in the warm and humid category, 71 degrees. Near 80 degrees coming up by later on today, so that the winds are 10 miles per hour. And beginning to get a little bit more gusty as we head toward the afternoon. Dew points well in the 70s, very warm and humid. That's adding the fuel to a little bit of fog along the coast currently this morning, right along the immediate coastline, southern parts of Calhoun County, into Aransas County, and down toward Corpus Christi metro area. And the visibility is in the inland areas about 2 to 4 miles. It'll begin to improve as the sun comes up and able to let that moisture disperse as we work on through the morning hours, but still keeping that foggy condition right along the immediate coastline, which will continue throughout the day, and trying to work its way inland as we head toward the afternoon and the early morning hours tomorrow, and also overnight tonight. And we'll keep the good visibilities going throughout the day. Look at the weather headlines: coastal fog this morning, nothing widespread, no advisories, and warm and humid conditions still continue to persist. Rain chances later on in the week. Maybe some cool temperatures trying to return, at least make an effort to. We'll talk about the possibilities on that a little bit later on in the full forecast. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. 3 people were stabbed at a Victoria home Monday night. All 3 victims rushed to local hospitals, but one of them did not survive. Victoria police have confirmed one of the victims is just 8 years old. The other 2 stabbing victims are identified as a 53-year-old woman and a 55-year-old man. The 55-year-old man died from his injuries. VPD officer David Brugger says this is an isolated family violence incident.
At 7:20 p.m., Victoria Police Department officers responded to a residence in the 3000 block of Circle Street in reference to stabbing. Investigation revealed that there were 3 victims, one 8-year-old male, one 53-year-old female. Both of them were transported to hospitals, and then one 55-year-old male who succumbed to his wounds. There is one person that's in custody. He was arrested for the charges of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. This is an isolated family violence incident.
The person who is in custody is a 27-year-old man. VPD says this is an active and ongoing investigation. A driver took Victoria police on a chase Monday afternoon before crashing out near DeWitt County. Officers detained both the driver and the passenger. More details on the pursuit are expected to be released today. Georgia's closely watched Senate runoff race is in the home stretch. Both candidates hit the campaign trail in the last day before the election. Senator Raphael Warnock spoke to students at a rally at Georgia Tech, and his challenger, Herschel Walker, met with supporters in an Atlanta suburb. While control of the U.S. Senate is no longer up for grabs, a win for Warnock would allow Democrats more leeway to pass President Biden's agenda. We'll go to Washington for the latest on the high-stakes Senate runoff later on Sunrise. The Supreme Court deliberating on the limits of free speech and same-sex marriage. The court heard arguments Monday in the case of a Christian web designer who objects to working on same-sex weddings, arguing she has a free speech right to refuse work that conflicts with her religious views. Civil rights groups say Smith is asking the conservative majority court for a license to discriminate. Leading us to your viewer poll. Should business owners be allowed to refuse services that clashes with their religion? All right, let's take a look. 69% of you say yes, 31% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. You can also scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. Tens of thousands remain without power in North Carolina after a targeted attack on 2 power stations there. The lights have been out since Saturday when officials say a suspect or suspects shot at the substations, disabling them. Duke Energy is warning customers, many now left without heat, to prepare for the power to be out into Thursday, as overnight low temperatures dip below freezing. Car rental company Hertz will now pay nearly $170 million after falsely claiming some of its customers had stolen their vehicles, an allegation that led to a real nightmare for those drivers.
This morning, Hertz is settling hundreds of lawsuits from customers who were falsely accused of stealing vehicles, resulting in some paying customers being arrested at gunpoint.
This car is reported stolen from Hertz Rent-A-Car. Did you rent it?
Yes!
They yelled and screamed, get out of the car, put my hands up.
All of them were pointing guns literally to the back of our head.
Hertz blamed a recurring computer glitch for sometimes listing vehicles as stolen or incorrectly marking a customer as having not paid. The company also blaming the computer glitch for not properly recording rental extensions.
It's something that shouldn't have never happened. I had a valid corporate lease agreement, what I thought was.
Jonathan Olivares says he was pulled over in Louisiana after Hertz reported his car as stolen. He could not get in touch with his employer, who set up the rental, so officers charged him with felony auto theft.
I was in a cell the size of a bathroom with 2 other inmates.
Kelly Grady of Pennsylvania was arrested 1 month after she returned a Hertz vehicle because the SUV was reported as stolen. She spent 12 days in jail before clearing things up.
It was degrading.
Now Hertz has agreed to pay $168 million, settling 364 pending claims from customers with similar stories. The company's new CEO says the cases involved 1/100% of Hertz customers, saying while we will not always be perfect, the professionals at Hertz will continue to work every day to provide best in-class service to the tens of millions of people we serve each year. Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Hertz filed for bankruptcy in 2020. The CEO says a meaningful part of the settlement will come from the company's insurance carriers. All right, get your cell phone and scan this QR code. It's our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app. You can get breaking news alerts, vote on our viewer poll, get the latest news, weather, and sports. And you can also submit news tips and photos. The time is now 6:40 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come on 25 News Now Sunrise. A trailer that was stolen from a small business has been recovered.
Breaking early turnout, voters are now casting final ballots in Georgia's Senate runoff race. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with the issues Georgia's top election official says are standing out with voters.
Warm temperatures on the outside starting off in the 70s, 80s by later on this afternoon. What about any rain chance anytime soon? We'll take a look at that in your forecast.
Have you been told you have to live with your wound? There is hope at PAM Outpatient Wound Care. At PAM Outpatient Wound Care Clinic, you'll find the latest technology and the most committed and caring professionals dedicated to your wound healing. Our experienced wound healing experts and multidisciplinary team specialize in preventing amputation and preserving limbs.
I began hyperbarics here. I'm walking and have the leg, which is the best part.
Come see us at PAM Outpatient Wound Care, where healing starts here.
Now there is even stronger protection against COVID-19 and its variants. The updated booster can help keep you from getting seriously ill or ending up in the hospital. Make sure you're up to date with all COVID vaccines.
We're live! Somebody told me
one time that a foolproof way to get a man was to smile. So I went around for like months. Drop that.
Good morning. Looking at a radar with the precipitation free, echoes on it, nothing to show actually. That is going to continue throughout the day today. Southerly winds throughout the day, 10 to 15 to 20 miles per hour in the afternoon especially, so a bit of a breeze. Notice all the winds coming in off the Gulf of Mexico from the south, keeping the humidity in. No northerly winds as of yet. That tells us right there this is going to be a very humid and warm a couple of days down the road through your Wednesday and even more than likely into your Thursday. Maybe by the first of next week seeing some improvement a little bit, and some cool air will try to make it into the crossroads. And coming up by 11 a.m., we are 12 degrees above normal in Victoria. Let's run this model all the way through the next couple of days. 15 degrees above normal by the time we get to your Thursday in the morning time. And then you'll see a little bit of a downward trend in this above normal track here coming up by the first of next week. Still above normal for your day on Tuesday next week. And then we'll keep that temperature maybe a little bit cooler coming up on Monday and Tuesday. As the weak front gets closer to us and begins to give us better rain chances. Moisture in the atmosphere around here, that's still going to continue. Coastal fog in the morning time, make its way inland. And what are the rain percentages and everything else you need to know about the weather forecast for this week? We got you covered on that a little bit later on. Carolina?
Thank you, Trey. All eyes this morning on the state of Georgia, where a high-stakes Senate runoff race gets underway today. Incumbent Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker have wrapped up their campaigns, and now voters are deciding. Though Democrats already hold a Senate majority, both parties are calling Georgia a must-win.
Election day again in Georgia, now holding the nation's final Senate race. An extended campaign for incumbent Democrat Raphael Warnock and his Republican challenger Herschel Walker, after neither won 50% of the vote on Election Day, sending the race to a runoff.
The stakes are high, and the differences between me and my opponent are too wide for us to sleep. This is about turnout, and now that means that we got to get in the game.
Georgia breaking records with more than 1.8 million voters casting early ballots. The state's top election official sensing voters are not only energized, but also informed, aware that Georgia's open Senate seat could tip or balance the Senate power scale.
I think people understand that 50-50 versus 51-49 is probably a big deal.
The Georgia Senate race also shattering spending records, with reports Warnock's team spent close to $170 million, more than doubling Walker's roughly $60 million. Political parties spending even more and deploying super surrogates. Former President Trump holding a tele-rally for Walker. President Biden touting Warnock's record in an Atlanta radio interview.
All the things that Reverend Warnock has supported are things that the people of Georgia care a great deal about. For example, to not have the prescription drug costs go up, actually come down.
Walker closing his campaign by painting Warnock as a rubber stamp for Biden while separating himself from Trump, and instead siding with popular Georgia Governor Brian Kemp. And now it's all in the hands of voters. Early voting so far appears to advantage Democrats, but high turnout from Republicans today could cut into that lead. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
A trailer stolen from a small business owner was recovered last week. David Ortiz says the Victoria Police Department found his trailer on the side of Guadalupe Road after someone reported a trailer parked off the roadway. Ortiz says the thieves drilled the lock off of his trailer and removed his signs and wooden 2x4s that were attached. At this time, he said there are still no potential leads on a potential suspect on who may have stolen his trailer, but the trailer is still usable. The Port Lavaca Police Department has had several reports of vehicle burglaries. They are confined to one neighborhood. The Port Lavaca Police Department urging residents to take precautions. This includes locking your vehicle doors, keeping your vehicle neat, hide all proof of items you've purchased, park in a busy, well-lit area, and report break-ins immediately by calling 911. The time is now 9:46 on your Tuesday morning. Still to come. 2 major airports in Beijing have dropped the requirement for departing passengers to show a negative COVID test.
Hi, I'm Bentley Kamen, and the one sale that happens only one time a year is going on right now, and that's our Golden Egg Sale. If you're wanting the best deal of a lifetime, now is the time to buy. And if you buy it today, you're going to have it delivered tonight.
This holiday season, Ford wants to help you shine bright. Come in and choose from a great in-stock selection of vehicles, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected, even if rates go up before your order comes in. Plus, hundreds of vehicles are arriving daily, just in time for the holidays. Now, custom order a select 2023 Ford vehicle today, lock in your rate, and you're protected during the Shine Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer.
Hi, I'm Bentley Kamen, and the one sale that happens only one time a year is going on right now, and that's our Golden Egg Sale. If you're wanting the best deal of a lifetime, now is the time to buy. And if you buy it today, you're going to have it delivered tonight.
In this morning's GMA First Look, the Royal Rift could be widening again.
It's really hard to look back on it now and go, what on earth happened?
Just 2 days until the premiere of Harry and Meghan's new documentary, but the fallout is already here.
There was a war against Meghan to suit other people's agendas.
It's about hatred. It's about race. It's a dirty game.
The 6-part series promising to reveal untold secrets of their exit from royal life.
There's a hierarchy of the family. You know, there's leaking, but there's also planting of stories. No one knows the full truth. We know the full truth.
But why is the series already the source of criticism?
I realized they're never going to protect you.
I was terrified.
It's all coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your asthma specialist about Dupixent.
Good morning, good morning. It's about 10 minutes away from the 7 o'clock hour here on your Tuesday. Foggy conditions, a little bit of patchy fog out there, nothing widespread, no advisories at this hour. I don't anticipate any. And 1 mile visibilities or so from about west of Cuero, Yorktown toward Carn City, Beeville, Normanna area to about Refugio. And along the coast, I think the coastal fog will persist around the coastal areas throughout the majority of the day today. 1 mile visibilities everywhere you go. Once again, the weather headlines to keep in mind: coastal fog still lingering throughout the day, of course, and some inland areas as well. Warm and humid conditions also continue to linger on. Rain chances more toward the end of the week. Cool temperatures returning. A little bit of question mark there, but I think we can find an answer on that. Maybe toward the end of the week, first next week, some cooler air make its way into our region. We'll talk about that just before we go, a little bit later on before we go here in the full forecast.
Thank you, Trey. Beijing's 2 major airports have dropped the need for departing passengers to show a negative COVID test. Only body temperature checks and scanning health codes will be mandated. But passengers are still required to show a negative test within 48 hours if they wish to eat at an airport restaurant. Flights in and out of Beijing currently running at a tiny fraction of pre-pandemic levels. Changes come amid growing public anger toward the country's zero COVID policy. This year's flu shot appears to be a good match to circulating strains. The CDC says vaccinations are lagging compared to previous years, however. It shows that vaccinations are down for pregnant women, seniors, and children compared to 2021. And the flu season started earlier this year in the U.S. as well and hit most of the country harder than normal. We're seeing hospitalization rates at levels that aren't typically seen until December or January. A national news source has learned Fox News chairman Rupert Murdoch will be deposed as part of a defamation lawsuit filed by Dominion Voting System. The company claims Fox News participated in a disinformation campaign that says the voting machines used in the 2020 presidential election were faulty. A court filing shows the deposition will take place next Tuesday. It will be remote and under oath. Dominion has sued Fox for $1.6 billion, saying its coverage of election fraud in 2020 hurt Dominion's business. Other Fox executives and personalities have already sat down with Dominion's lawyers as part of the lawsuit. So far, no comment from Fox. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A beloved actress has died. Remember her.
Victory Kia and Victory Buick GMC want to let you know that you can lean on us. We will award $500 to a deserving winner. Drop off an entry form at any of our participating dealerships in the Lean On Me drop box with your story and contact info. Go to crossroadstoday.com/leanonme for more information or to enter online. You can tune in every other Thursday at the 6, 9, and 10 p.m. news to view our winners. Lean On Me is sponsored by Victory Kia and Victory Buick GMC.
Are you ready to change your career path? Come join our sales team at the Victoria Television Group. Do you have a passion for customer service and sales? This is the right place for you. We offer great benefits, medical, dental, life, 401k, paid vacation, and much more. Call me and let me show you why the Victoria Television Group sales team is the right choice for you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sean Hamilton with Victoria Vein and Surgery Clinic. If you suffer from leg ache, cramping, swelling, bulging, or spider veins, we have solutions. Victoria Vein and Surgery Clinic is proud to offer our patients advanced, minimally invasive treatments for their varicose vein disease. My team and I have been providing state-of-the-art vein care to the Crossroads region for 15 years. We perform all procedures in our office with minimal downtime. Call today to schedule an evaluation and experience the many benefits that vein care can provide.
And now for today's question of the day. What is the highest grossing Christmas movie of all time? Okay, Trey, we've had some guesses this morning, including Home Alone, The Grinch, A Christmas Carol. We have also It's a Wonderful Life. Let's see, any more guesses? I do have a fun fact, but first we have to share the answer.
All right, thank you so much, and thanks everyone for chiming in on the question of the day. It was Home Alone in the past, but it's been surpassed by none other than The Grinch.
Trey, it took 8.5 hours for Jim Carrey to get into makeup for that.
Interesting, very much so. It was a good movie, funny of course, good comedy classic for the holidays. So there you go, it's The Grinch. We'll give you the next question of the day tomorrow to give you time to chime in and see what you think about the question of the day to get your brain going for your Wednesday.
Amy Lee is great, and then you know the Chanels, Emma Roberts, and Billy Lord. And
actress Kirstie Alley has died. Best known for her role in the sitcom Cheers, Alley died after a recent diagnosis of cancer. Her family announced her death in a statement Monday. Alley won an Emmy in 1991 for her role as bar manager Rebecca Howe in Cheers. She also played memorable roles in Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan, Look Who's Talking, and Drop Dead Gorgeous. The type of cancer was not disclosed. Her family thanked her doctors for their work and asked for privacy. Kirstie Alley was 71. An armed man entered the Rialto police station on Monday and was shot by police. Officials say the incident was reported just after 5 p.m. They say a man armed with an assault weapon entered a secure area of the station by following a police officer inside who had just opened a gate with his remote. The suspect approached the police vehicle soon after entering the area and held up a weapon. The officer feared for his life and opened fire, hitting the suspect several times. The suspect's name was released. He's recovering at a local hospital. A motive is not known at this time. Over the weekend, NASA's landing and recovery team practiced recovering Orion off the coast of San Diego. The joint teams of NASA's Exploration Ground Systems program and the U.S. Navy completed a final trial recovery day at sea in the Pacific Ocean. They used a mock capsule in the water for divers and small boats to practice open water recovery procedures. The spacecraft will complete its 25.5-day mission by splashing down in the Pacific Ocean on December 11th, where it will be recovered by teams aboard the USS Portland. The Salvation Army keeping up with the digital age as they shift toward a new cashless donation option. Donors can now scan a QR code on the Red Kettle sign to give the digital donations for the Salvation Army. Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, or Venmo will be available as options, and the Salvation Army says it's all part of keeping the organization up to date as possible.
We need to also remember that, it's not going to change. Technology is only going to get more advanced. It's not going to back up. So it's to our benefit that we accept some of it, if not all of it. And it does make our lives easier. I mean, we have to admit.
The Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign has raised millions annually for over 130 years. The less fortunate get a chance to experience Christmas, food, clothes, and even shelter from the donations that come from the Red Kettle. The kettles stand in 7 different locations around town. They can be found at Walmart, Sam's, Walgreens, and a few more spots. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. And on your cell phone, just search Crossroads Today Plus. Let's get another check at our viewer poll before we get that last look of weather. All right, we asked today, should business owners be allowed to refuse service refuse a service that would clash with their religion? Okay, let's take a look. 71% of you said yes, they should be allowed to refuse services, and 29% of you said no, they should not. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll, and you can scan the QR code right there to continue taking part. And now let's get that last look of our forecast with Trey.
Thank you so much, Carolina. Starting off with temperatures in the 70s this morning and 80s, the low 80s by the afternoon time, 1 o'clock you see right here. So definitely warm and humid, not December-like at all. And keeping the clouds in, a little bit of the coastal fog hanging along the coast for the majority of the day. So we'll have partly cloudy, mostly cloudy skies. No rainfall as of yet. Don't have that trigger mechanism needed to get that rainfall going. So the moisture will just kind of stay there in our region and keeping us on the humid side. 78 degrees today, near 80 degrees, pretty much everywhere we're ready to go, we'll call it. Morning fog and mostly cloudy skies throughout the day, rain-free. Overnight lows in the upper to mid-60s. Cloudy skies, patchy fog here and there. And for tomorrow is Wednesday already, 81 degrees. Morning cloud cover, mostly sunny skies, definitely on the warm side. And a little bit more sun tomorrow, thankfully. And here comes some small rain chances starting on Thursday, Friday, Saturday through the weekend. And maybe a little bit cooler, just a touch cooler coming up by Monday. One of those fronts finally makes it down to the region, more than likely stalling out. But we'll take anything we can get. Small rain chances through the week. Warm temperatures in the 80-degree range. Lows in the 60s. So be careful on the outside. A little bit patchy fog here and there. So use your low headlight beams if you're coming across a patch of fog where you're driving. Outside of that, running the air conditioners for the time being and keeping it on the nice side. There you go. Make it a great day today. And back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Trey, and thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Come to crossroadstoday.com for more local news, weather, and sports. And join James, Don, Howie, Karina, and Today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10.